So I've got the pasta here. So my sauce is done, my pasta's done. Everybody in the classes is all done, but they haven't cleared up yet. But they're going to be clearing up once it's in the oven. Because once it's in the oven, there's no washing up because they've got their own dish or the foil dish. It won't go through this machine. You put it on number 1, but it won't go through this like this. You need to roll it first. So you roll it and make sure it doesn't stick to the rollers, right? Then we can put it through here. We're going to put it through twice. I'm going to show you that. If we got time at the end of the lesson and people are cleared up really early, we can make one lot between the class just for a practice of putting it through the machine. Because the only way to get quick at this is doing it lots. You'll do it in pairs. So one feeds it in like this bit and the other one does the handle, right? And then with 2 of you, it's a lot easier, right? So now I go to number 2. Make sure that you don't jump it, because if it wraps around the rollers, you'll need to unroll it from the rollers. So don't wrap it around the rollers, right? Next one, only one at a time. So double check, so the people watching, they'll be fall through a machine in a minute, and you all put yours through one. So you'll put it through on number 1, you'll put it through on number 2, and so you're all watching each other. 2 of you in your pair do it, but then the other pair do those ones, right? So you'll need to be quick doing this, right? It don't take that long, it's nice and easy. If you rolled it by hand, you probably wouldn't be strong enough. So I'm going to show you a quick trick. I'm going to put it back to number 1. Now I'm going to fold it up. So this looks reasonably neat anyway, but yours might have scraggly sides. So to make it look nice and neat, you can fold it in like we did with the puff pastry. Fold it over, so it's roughly the width of that, or a little bit less. Like so. Then we go like that, then it's got lovely straight sides. Do you see that? I didn't need to do that to mine. And you can do that several times if we had loads and loads of time, but we probably haven't. So number 1, number 2, and you all can do this as a team. So you have to feed it in and you do it clockwise, otherwise it won't go through. Don't let it scrunch up here. Number 3. Number 4. That might be number 5 actually, there's another 5 there. So, oh, I've got the red specks in mine in the past. You see that, like the nice colour? It doesn't break easily, by the way. You know, I can wing this around. It would break easily, but don't stretch it too much. But it's not that delicate, so don't worry too much about it. If it does, fold it back up, start again if it messes up. So don't worry about it. And the way to get quick at this is to practice, right? Yeah. So another week when we're finished early, you could say, can I do the pasta? You could just not to eat it, just practice putting it in the machine, and we could just use that for all the classes, so it's not wasted. Yeah? I do this until it's as long as the table. This is a bit wet, this one, by the way, but it's not sticky. But if it is a bit thingy, you can put a bit of flour on it. So if you think yours is a bit sticky, and mine's just the length of the table. Do you see that? So that's okay. Now, you won't need all this, by the way. So any spare stuff we'll fold up, and we might be able to do in one big pot as tagliatelle, or we might be able to just practice with it. So lasagna sheets, when you buy them in the shop, I'm going to guess they come in a box, and they're about that sort of size. So I'm going to get in. Now, you would cut this the same size as your dish, by the way. So if your dish is that size, you can cut it that size, can't you? My dish, I might be using this dish. Or I could use this dish. I reckon this is a 1 to 2 portion dish. This one's a bit small, but this would be good for the exam. So for the exam, you make 2 of these maybe, and you can put it on the plate with the side salad, would look good, yeah? So I might make it in here actually. So what I'll do is, bit of mince, I'm going to do 2 of these. This will make 1 to 2 portions, but I'm going to see if I can get 2 portions out of it. It'd be a tight on this, right? Little bit of mince. Now some people put the cheese sauce in it, which is fine, but make sure you've got enough for the top. I'm not going to put cheese sauce in mine, I'm just going to put the cheese sauce on the top. The biggest mistake they make is they forget to put it on top. I'm not going to make it oval because that's too much of a flaff. So I put 1 bit of pasta on. This is fresh pasta, so it's not dry, so it doesn't take so long to cook, by the way. Yeah? You'll know it's long enough when it's the length of the table, by the way. Then I put some more mince in. Oh, this is going to do 2 portions, by the way. Yeah. I wouldn't say they're huge portions. I'm 16 stone, so it wouldn't be enough for me. It might be enough for my wife. With a spatula, and I've got my cheesy sauce one here, you need to scrape it out. Don't waste all this tomato because it makes it harder. As soon as I finish with this, I put it in the sink. So I wouldn't say these are big portions. I'd probably be able to eat 2 of these easy. But that would be in a restaurant, that's the sort of size. I need the spatula again. Then I get the sauce. Oh, I wrap mine up, by the way, to stop you getting the skin on it. If you burn yours in the pot, you'll be able to see mine at the bottom. I'm going to use a clean spatula just to show you this, because it will look red otherwise. I'm just going to show you this. Mine shouldn't be burnt. If you burnt it, I've got some of mine to put it in, whisk it and put it in a clean bowl. So mine here, let me just scrape the bottom. As you can see the bottom's not burnt. If you burnt it at the bottom, put it in a clean pot. I put that on, otherwise it'll get skin. This is thicker than it should be. That's basically because it's cooled down, because I was waiting for the pupils for absolutely ages to do their bit. So I would have made mine ages ago. So in here, Asta on top, everybody paying attention. If you've got them square, obviously I could have cut these oval if I wanted to, but I'm not, make sure you wipe the sides. Now this is the important bit, make sure you put enough cheese sauce on. I've got enough for 2 here, this should be enough for 2. So I'm going to put half on each one, sprinkle a little bit of cheese, put them in the oven. Where this is a little dish, they're hard to get out. In a restaurant they might have 20 of this size and they'd have them all on one dish. So when the chef puts them in the oven, he only has to put one thing in rather than 20. And also, if you overfill these, which I'm doing on purpose to show you what you shouldn't do, don't overfill them, otherwise it falls over the side, right? So maybe I've got too much in there. If you see that one's too much in there, when that bubbles, it's going to make a mess of the sides. So I'm going to take a little bit of cheese sauce out of that one. A little bit of cheese sauce out of that one, as you can see, otherwise it makes a mess, right? I've got some, a bit like making fairy cakes, don't get it on the tin, so you need to wipe that off with a bit of cloth or something. A little bit of cheese on top, not too much, otherwise it goes greasy. When they come out, you can put a slice of tomato on, especially if you've got a two course one. So then these two go in the oven, and this bit here, we can make a bit of, we've got a bit of spare stuff here. Can you just go and get me a little bowl of the spare stuff? Because I'm just going to show them ravioli. I'll do 1 bit of ravioli, you won't have time for that. Connor, 1 little bit please, that's what I said. Yeah, just put me a tablespoon in there, Connor. Tablespoon in there. Alright, so these go in the oven. Can you give me a black dish with sides? You need a black dish with sides. Can you get them out, please? Under there, please. So, I said, no, that's plenty. I only need a tiny bit. So, watch this. Now, ravioli. So, hopefully you can see this. Can you see this on the table? Can you see it on the table? Can you move it nearer? Can you move it?
If you move the...
Can you move the actual camera? Can you do that? Oh, I'll get it down and you're going to hold the camera for me. Because they need to see this up close. They won't see you. Yeah. So, you're going to hold it here on the ravioli for me, thank you. So, now I've got a little bit of mince, just to show you, you're not going to have time for this, guys. So I can do it like that, if I've got time with the cutters. It's that double the width, so I might be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. So I'm just going to do 3 blobs here and roll the top over. So watch this. Or watch. We might not, some of you might have time for this. I don't think you will today, to be honest, too. But if you did, you could do this. This is harder than making it. Then you could just put cheese and spinach in this. So now, I need to wet it. So just move it over so you get a pastry brush. So I find a pastry brush here. I get a little bit of water to seal it, or egg. The water is fine for this. Little bit of water. Round here. Yeah, because I need to seal it. Otherwise they just come open when I cook them. I'm just going to make 3 of these. Roll this over the top if it's long enough. Maybe that's only enough for 2. Not quite enough for 3. Right. Then we put the big cutter. 1. Bring that back a little bit. So I can have a look, because otherwise I won't have the mince. Cut it. Then seal it with the small cutter. Like so. You see I'm sealing it. It's quite a bit smaller, this cutter. Otherwise it won't seal. Seal it, and then you just boil them in some water. So you guys are all going to make that one. I've overfilled a little bit. Do you see? You can't put much filling. So this actually looks not a lot of filling, but actually for this size cutter, that's too much filling. So I'm going to take a little bit out. Do you see that? Okay. So don't make the ravioli. Just make the lasagnas. Get them in. If you've got enough time, I'll let you know when you're cleaned up if you can make the ravioli. Thank you.